play number 3, fostering leadership every day. Resilience is our superpower. Life has a way of filling our heads with questions. Am I even worthy of this label, leader? Do I have what it takes? Am I enough? And I think Tanya threw this one in. Which country makes the best jollof? I think she's trying to get me in trouble. I'm going to call that one out. Nice try. For Black women to succeed, nice try. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to put in the work of what needs to be done and be compassionate to ourselves. Embracing your role as leader. Can you tell us about a time where compassion led the way, personal or professional? What was the challenge and what did you do? What was the result? Angela, you're going to kick us off. Elizabeth, and then, Renee, and then Elizabeth.
Sure. I guess I'll just, I'm looking at the countdown here, so I know we don't have much time. I think I might go back to just a little bit about what I talked about earlier. It really was a compassionate plea to do something to support the Black community. I think when I think back on that moment, it's probably one of the proudest things that I've ever done in my career, where I was able to give so many Black professionals space. I will never forget arranging for about 20 or 30 Black professionals to be in a room with the most senior executives in the organization. I don't think they had ever been in a room with that many Black people before. I'm pretty confident of that. And it was an opportunity to have roundtables and to talk to the most senior leaders in the organization about how they were feeling and how unseen they felt and how they felt that they were really sort of targeted in a way that they were not suitable for leadership. To have the opportunity to sit and be honest and have open, candid conversation with leaders, that was, for me, one of the most important things that I've ever done. The challenge was, quite frankly, wondering, will the people that we're talking to actually take us seriously? Will something actually come out of this? Will there actually be action? Will steps be taken? Will we see more promotional opportunities for Black professionals? Will Black professionals feel empowered? Will they walk out of that room feeling that they can actually sort of have a voice in their own career, that they can actually feel confident enough coming out of a room with the most executive people in the company, that they could finally feel like, okay, you know what? I now think that I have what it takes to move my career forward. So that, for me, I think was probably the most important thing that I've ever done.
So I'm going to take it in a bit more of a micro perspective when it comes to compassion for self. Making sure you are listening to your body, making sure you're listening to what feels right for you in specific situations. So when I talk about compassion in this situation, working ridiculous hours, not spending time with my family, doing a job that, quite frankly, let's just say it was unreasonable at the end of the day. And it took me getting, like, sometimes your body will say no for you. Let's just leave it at that. And so being able to listen to yourself, because if you're not taking care of you, you're not there to take care of anybody else, including your family, including your team, including the people you have to serve every day. So having compassion for self and then compassion for others, right? Being able to be there when someone comes and talks to you, being a mentor to other people in your organization or other industries, being able to lift others up, again, comes from a place of compassion, preparing others for what they might need to face. Because what you did is phenomenal. I love that. But you can do that every day in terms of how you show up for you and for others. And being compassionate in that context, it pays dividends, because there's no way that you're not taking care of yourself and doing what you need to do and then doing it all for others. You can't help somebody else if you don't have a full cup for yourself. So that would be my comment.
When I think about compassion, I think I'll take it micro. I think about leadership because I don't actually think you can lead if you're not compassionate. I think you can direct if you're not compassionate. But to me, leading is about influence. And that's why I think everyone is a leader. You can lead from wherever you are in the organization. But if you can't see the people you're working with as individuals, you can't really forge really meaningful connections. I have a saying that I always say. I say, lead the person, not the position. Meaning, I might be sitting and talking to a marketing coordinator. I need to be able to understand that, yes, they do serve a role for the organization, but I need to be able to speak to them as an individual and have compassion and meet them where they are so that they understand that they're seen, that they're heard. I need to understand what motivates them, and not just for the purposes of the organization, but so that I can see an opportunity, particularly if it's another woman, I'm always looking at to bring them into something that I know it's developmentally it's good for them. For me, that's compassion, because I think it's definitely great to be there to kind of be a shoulder when someone needs it or an ear, but I think it does so much. One of the greatest gifts you can give anyone in their career, particularly a woman and a woman of color, is exposure. Bringing them into a room that they might not have otherwise been in, or on a call that maybe they're not leading it, but they get to sit and listen, they get to absorb that. For me, that's compassion, because I feel like so many people I meet almost are, it sounds dramatic, but I think this is the right term for it, are suffering in their day-to-day work because they know they are working in a place beneath themselves.
Yes.
And they feel like they're not getting the opportunity to speak up or to show up and bring all of themselves to the table.
Yep.
And so I do think that there is a responsibility that people have in leadership wherever you are in the organization to lead with compassion, and that's in practical terms in the way you treat people respectfully, but it's also in terms of looking out for other people's interests outside of your own. Because for me, that's legacy. I believe in earning titles, not holding them. It means nothing to me if you've got a C in front of your title, if you're out of your depth, you don't know how to lead your team, your culture is struggling, everyone's unhappy, and everyone's sitting at their desk applying for jobs in other organizations. Good job, you got the C title, right? So for me, that's when I think of leading with compassion, that's how I live it, and that's what I've seen modeled around me, and that's really made all the difference in my career.
Wow. Thank you for both you and Renee's thoughts. I know, Angela, we gave it. All right. Wow. It has been actually it's like an absolute pleasure to host all of you. Thank you so much for your tidbits and your insights and being open and vulnerable and really, really, truly sharing what it took for you guys to get to where you guys are and how you're still holding that position and that power both professionally and personally. That really means a lot. So can we give it up for our amazing panelists?